do? It is yours truly, say it with me, Mr.Taliaferro. What's going on? It is game 3. Conference finals slowly but surely starting to pick up on the Eastern side. I'm pretty much done with the Western Conference finals. I didn't have it with the Portland Trail Blazers and their excuses. I'm done with Portland for this year. Valiant effort from Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum to get to the conference finals, but let's just call it what it is. The Nuggets should be in the conference finals, giving the Warriors at least a better battle than what the Portland Trail Blazers can give right now. Anywho, in the East, the Kawhi Leonard-led Toronto Raptors are playing hard, and they're looking to win Game 3 at home in Toronto. Drake's in the building. Can they beat this very tough Milwaukee Bucks team that's only lost one game thus far throughout the NBA postseason 2019? Let's get into the highlight, ladies and gentlemen. Out the gate, it wasn't just Kawhi Leonard coming to play. It was the other guys as Marc Gasol drills a 3. Now Marc Gasol backing down in the post, passing, looking, finding Pascal Siakam, who goes and 1. Raptors up 7 early. Gasol, screen and roll here. Screen on Brogdon. Powell drills the 3. He's been playing good ball for the Raptors all postseason. Let's keep it moving. Second quarter here. It's 36-31. Giannis might have got away with a travel. Euro. He gets the 2 to go. It's 45-37. Toronto's still up, and now Kyle Lowry joins the act. He drills a 3. But the answer on the other end from Malcolm Brogdon. 4-point game. 30 seconds to go before the half. Kawhi Leonard with a crossover, and I think a little bit of screening happened as well. Anywho, Kawhi Leonard drills a 3. Other end, Eric Bledsoe with the answer. As we inch closer and closer to the locker room, the Raptors are up 4, but they're not done. With 5, with 4, Lowry's going to find Serge Ibaka in the corner to beat the buzzer. Raptors go up 7 as we enter the locker room. A little bit of that Raptors momentum will carry over in the third. It's Pascal Siakam going right at Giannis Antetokounmpo. Big game from Siakam. Big bounce back game. He struggled the first 2 games of this series. He drills a 3 off the hands of Marc Gasol. Siakam had 25 points, 11 rebounds. Other end here, into the third, is George Hill. He's having a phenomenal playoff run. Let's go on to the fourth. The Raptors are up 2. Make it 5 as Kyle Lowry drills the 3. 82-77. Giannis loses it. Fred VanVleet, who struggled all series, is going to get it to Kawhi Leonard, who's not struggling. He drills the 3. Raptors up 8 with under 9 minutes to go. It's Eric Bledsoe down the lane. Beautiful pass to Giannis Antetokounmpo. Not his greatest game, but he was effective in multiple ways. He goes and 1 over Kawhi Leonard. We're tied at 91 here. 2 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the fourth. And it's Kawhi giving his team the 2-point lead. The Raptors are up 4 with 40 seconds to go. Malcolm Brogdon will get the score. Now Bucks are down 2. The Bucks are down 2 with 7 seconds to go in regulation. Chris Middleton's going to get blocked. He would get it back and score. 96 apiece. Just like the last time they played in Toronto, the Raptors had a chance to walk off the court with a win. Pascal Siakam, no. Let's go into overtime number 1. We're tied at 96. It's Fred VanVleet to Danny Green. His only shot of the game is a 3-pointer. Raptors are up 3. Giannis would miss a free throw. Somehow, some way, Middleton tip it out to Giannis. He get the rebound. Swing it in the corner to George Hill for 3. We're tied at 99. In OT, the Raptors will go up 2. Now Kawhi Leonard looking to increase the lead over Chris Middleton. It's a 4-point game. Raptors are up with 45 seconds to go, looking to put this away and only trail a game in this series. Malcolm Brogdon with the quick score again with his team down 4. He did the same thing in regulation. The Bucks were tied up. We're tied at 103. Kawhi Leonard with a chance to win this game in the first overtime. Fading left. It's no good. We go into a second overtime. This is probably the biggest play of the game. Pascal Siakam going right at Giannis. Giannis is called for his 6th foul, 12 points, 23 rebounds, 7 assists. He would foul out. The Bucks were never the same team after their star went down. Marc Gasol puts the Raptors up 1 with a 3-pointer. Now, Bledsoe will lose it. It's a big play as well. He loses it. Kawhi Leonard to get it and take it and go with the left. He goes in and with the dunk. The Raptors are back up and more hustle from Kawhi Leonard to steal, the will, the want to put the Raptors up 3 with under 2 minutes to go in double OT. The Bucks are down 2 now. They need a score with 50 seconds to go. Pascal Siakam straight up blocks Brook Lopez at the rim. Now Kawhi looking to put this game away. Will, want, desire is all there. from the claw. And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, as Drizzy Drake waves goodbye, the Toronto Raptors, behind a big performance from Kawhi Leonard, 36 points, 9 rebounds from him. Marc Gasol had his best game of the playoffs, 16 points, 12 rebounds, 7 assists. I told you guys earlier that Pascal Siakam had 25 points, 11 boards, 19 points off the bench from Powell, and the Raptors now get back into this series somewhat. We will see what happens Tuesday night as these two teams continue their battle. 2-1 is the series. The Bucks are still up, but they lose game 3 to Toronto. Salute to that Jurassic Park. It looked like they had that thing jumping in Toronto. I will say this about this game. First off, I believe the Bucks win this game if Giannis doesn't get fouled out. Fouls were a big part. I know we couldn't show. I didn't want to just show you a lot of fouls. But honestly, there were a lot of guys who were in foul trouble. Kyle Lowry fouled out of the basketball game. He was on the bench. Fred VanVleet had to come in and kind of finish the game out. I mean, again, I told you about Giannis fouling. There was a lot of fouls being called in this game, and it really altered how these two teams played. They got physical in game 3. You know, some of that aggression that was lacking from the Toronto Raptors in games 1 and games 2 sporadically, it was there for them in game 3. They poked Giannis in the eye. They got Pascal Siakam. Give him a lot of credit. I called him out. I know a lot of people called him out. He just didn't show up. He's going to win Most Improved Player of the Year in like 2 or 3 weeks. And for him to have won that award, he just was not fair in this series thus far. Had a good first round against Orlando. Was okay in the second round against Philly. Couple big games. And he was just kind of MIA the first 2 games of this series. He really came out, and I thought it was the difference maker. He needs to be a viable second option for Kawhi Leonard. He just makes Kawhi Leonard's life a little bit easier, right? He's the other guy on the court that can not only attack you from the perimeter, but can also attack the lane. Again, guys like Kyle Lowry can get in the lane. Marc Gasol can shoot the 3. But that combination of both of those skills, Kawhi Leonard and Pascal Siakam are the athletes on that Toronto Raptors team that can do so. They're just a different team when the Raptors have both of those guys in attack mode. And give Kawhi Leonard a crap ton of credit. Boy, has he been phenomenal for his Raptors team. And maybe this is his last hoorah with this Raptors team. He is a free agent to be as soon as the season is over. But he's leaving a great, to me, in my opinion, if the Raptors even lose this thing, and I got them losing in 6, he's leaving a great impression to me on that Toronto Raptors franchise, man. You can't get mad at the one season you had. I know he was kind of subjective at best in the regular season with missing like 25 games, but in the playoffs, he has been there. His 4th straight game scoring over 30 points. We already know what he did in Game 7 as the Raptors got over Philly and with the game-winning shot. And now to come out in the first 3 games of this series and put up 30 in each of those games, boy, has he really been literally that knight in that shield for that Toronto Raptors ball club. For the Milwaukee Bucks side, before I get on out of here, I didn't love Chris Middleton's game. I haven't really loved him all series, but to give Chris Middleton a little bit of slack, he does have the responsibility of guarding Kawhi Leonard. So you got to imagine the energy that he doesn't have offensively. This is obviously Chris Middleton's toughest assignment thus far in his playoff journey. He's having to be the primary defender on Kawhi. Down the stretch, Mike Budenholzer, the head coach of the Bucks team, did put Brogdon on Kawhi. But for most of the game, it is Chris Middleton with the responsibility of Kawhi. And that is a tough cover. Guarding Kawhi and Giannis is different. Like, even like a LeBron or Kevin Durant at this point, especially LeBron at this point in his career, he'll just kind of stay on that perimeter and kind of bail you out. And Kevin Durant is a jump shooter, right? Russell Westbrook's a jump shooter. You know, these guys shoot a lot of jumpers. Damian Lillard's a jump shooter. Kyrie's a jump shooter. They'll bail you out a lot of plays. With Kawhi, though, he's just literally banging offensive rebounds, getting to the paint, making your life just so difficult. He was literally the only guy still running up and down the court in the double overtime frame. He's just a handful, man. He's just a lot to deal with. Kawhi's a skinny dude, but trust me, a lot of the weight that he does have on him is just pure muscle, man. And you can tell it's really impacting Chris Middleton. I need more from Eric Bledsoe. His decision making has not been great. Mike Budenholzer actually took Eric Bledsoe out the game and went with George Hill late in the 4th quarter. You saw George Hill make some big plays. The reason why he had to go back to Bledsoe in overtime, double OT, was Giannis fouled out. So just keep that in mind. Budenholzer did go with the veteran, more responsible George Hill in the overtime frame. But when Giannis fouled out, you just can't look Eric Bledsoe in the eye a guy that you just gave a big extension to at the end of the year and not put him in the game. So they went back small and threw Eric Bledsoe back in for Giannis. And his decision making is just not great at times, man. You know, cost his team. That turnover that he had that led to a Kawhi Leonard dunk was pivotal. You know, it was pivotal in a game that was that close. And it was literally an inches game. It felt like a football game in a lot of ways. It was literally a game of inches. You know, fouls being called. Was it a charge? Was it a block? I still don't know about that 6th foul on Giannis. But nevertheless, it is a 2-1 series. Your boys here. I'll be back for game 4 as always. Brogdon's been playing good ball. I think the Bucks should come out and win game 4. Like I said, I got the Bucks in 6. If they won it in 5, I wouldn't be surprised. I know the Bucks are looking over their shoulder. I know they're upset. And, you know, Giannis only put up 12 points. He has to play better. You know, he got to be better than that. Giannis got to be better than 12 points. And in the 4th quarter, before I get on out of here, Giannis, you could not go to Giannis and get a basket. I don't know what to say about that. See, Giannis to me is the best in the game, but it's like Shaq. Remember Shaq in the early 2000s? You really couldn't go to him in the 4th, and then they go hack a Shaq. So sometimes Shaq would be out of the game. Phil Jackson would have to throw him on the bench, right? Like, you're kind of seeing some of that with Giannis. In the 4th, when you're playing against a guy like Kawhi and Pascal Siakam, they're literally clogging the lane and daring these guys to beat you, or Eric Bledsoe, or Malcolm Brogdon, or even a Chris Middleton. So Giannis has to find some go-to moves and develop that jumper. It is tough to call a guy the best in the game when he can't go give me a bucket on any possession like a Kevin Durant can, or hell, even a Kawhi Leonard in this series can. So I'll say that. I think the Bucks should come out and win game 4. I got them winning in 6. Somehow, some way, they'll figure it out. I know the Bucks are looking over their shoulder at what the Warriors are doing, right? I know a lot of us expected Portland to win game 3. With the Warriors winning game 3, they now can close their series out tomorrow night. We're playing every other day at this point in the series, and where we're at in the conference finals. The Warriors are probably going to close this thing out in 4. So now the Bucks, bare minimum, have to go 5 games, and their series started. Yeah, so they got to at least go 1 day over than what the Warriors play. They don't want the Warriors to get any more rest than what they're going to get. Kevin Durant will be a fresh body. DeMarcus Cousins will be a fresh body for the finals. I still expect the Bucks to win this series. They need as much rest as possible because the Warriors are going to likely get a lot of rest. So we'll see. I thank you guys so much for the time, love, and support. I don't take it for granted. You see it on my hoodie. Time, love, support. Don't take it for granted. Salute. I'm out. I came from nothing, but I want everything God has for me. I interview celebrities. I talk sports. I still represent the culture.
I got the kids. You are now tuned in.
Yo, we locked in right now,
Mr.Taliaferro.
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 Shout out to Mr.Taliaferro.
You're watching Mr.Taliaferro TV.
Mr.Taliaferro TV. Here with the Triple B's, you can't do nothing but win.